Is the American middle class becoming the new working poor? Millions say they're doing everything right, but they're still falling behind. Let's talk about it.
Is it just me, or does the middle class get screwed the most? I mean, you make too much money to qualify for any kind of assistance, yet not enough money to really feel financially secure. The rich people have all kind of resources and loopholes. The lower income people qualify for assistance. Meanwhile, if you're middle class, you're paying full price for every freaking thing. Trying to keep your head above water, you're seriously getting screwed. I'm so freaking sick of it. We're literally out here raw dogging inflation.
Times are tough and only getting worse. Middle class family need to be making $100,000 or more just to survive. And even if two people are working and they're making $100,000 and they're considered middle class, they're still struggling and working paycheck to paycheck, cutting back on food, trying to buy whatever they can to feed their kids. But then we get told it's not even real fucking meat, right? You're buying stuff, oh, that's fake. It's genetically engineered. It's biochemistry engineered. Are you kidding? From a 3D printer? Well, we don't even know what's real anymore.
Being middle class in Wisconsin sucks sometimes. We are taxed but ignored. We are not poor enough to get assistance and not rich enough to have stability. We're paying taxes, facing inflation, adjusting to price hikes, no subsidies, no safety net, just expected to keep going until we die.
Many households say rising costs for groceries, housing, insurance, and everyday essentials are outpacing their income. While economic indicators may look positive in some areas, many workers say that's not what they're experiencing in their daily lives. That's led to a growing debate over whether the middle class is losing the financial stability it once had.
I swear, being middle class is the worst place to be. Like, you don't qualify for no type of assistance. Like, they tell you make too much money for food stamps, for rental assistance, for childcare assistance. Like, you literally make too much money for those things. But it's so hard to afford these things nowadays. Like, it's really actually insane. You mean to tell me that somebody who gets up every day and is capable of working but chooses not to work, right? Because I know people go through things and people lose their jobs, but I mean, there are people out here who choose not to work, right? And they get Section 8, they get food stamps, they get cash assistance, they get everything. Like, you mean to tell me someone like me can't get help, but somebody like that can get help? Like, it's actually insane. It's so messed up. Like, it makes no sense. Like, and then you have no choice but to pay these bills, obviously, because I'm not about to be homeless and I'm not about to not take care of me and my kids. But my God, can we get a break?
I do not understand, and this is the reason why when I was in undergraduate school, I did not like micro and macroeconomics. If you know, you know. I felt like it was one of those classes where you're kind of being indoctrinated to believe that somebody just had to be poor in order for, like, the world to have this balance. It was all bullshit. But then we later on learned that a lot of them simulations was created by McGraw, and we learned how his trifling ass was later on, right? Anywho, I just looked up and I saw that a studio apartment is $2,700, right? And depending on, of course, where you live at, $2,700 for a studio, and like for a one bedroom is $4,000. That is insane. They need to create a law to really put a cap on how much a landlord can charge people for rent, because it's highway robbery. Like, at this point, none of it makes sense. If we are suffering financially here in America, why are things getting more expensive? You would think a lot of these companies and corporations would lower their prices in order to be able to benefit their consumers. Like, that's the first thing that I learned when I was studying my bachelor's degree for business, is to know your audience.
People that earn six figures are not bringing home six figures, and I think y'all have a difficult time understanding that, because people on this app say, oh, you can live off 100K. We're not saying you can't live off 100K. I want y'all to really realize how high the cost of living is. Seriously. Because see, while my gross may be over 100K, I pay almost $500 a pay period in just insurance. Just insurance. Then we have state taxes. Then we have local taxes. Then we have all this other shit that come out your check. I'm not even contributing to retirement because I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I bring home $2,500. $2,250 is rent. So one entire check goes to rent. One check. The other check goes to everything else. Because see, the thing is, y'all can't fathom that people make that much money and still say we live in paycheck to paycheck. And I'm sorry if you make less and you're also struggling, but I really want people to realize the upper middle class is also struggling. We went to school, we went to college, we got the jobs, and we still fucking out here struggling. Just because we make more money, don't try to diminish our struggle. Thank you.
The middle class is not just broke, they're drowning. And the scary part is that most people don't even look like they're struggling. They have the house, they have the car, they have the job title, the family, holiday photos, but behind the scenes, there's a really different story going on. The bond payments keep getting bigger, the school fees never stop increasing, medical aid feels like another tax at this point, not to mention insurance, petrol, groceries, everything's going up, right? Except that feeling of security, because somewhere along the way, we changed the definition of success. Success became owning things you can't afford to lose. A nice car with a 5-year payment plan. A house that requires 2 incomes just to survive. A lifestyle that will collapse the moment one person loses their job. And the strangest part is many people aren't struggling because they're irresponsible. They're struggling because they follow the exact same formula they were given. Get qualified, get a good job, buy a house, build a family. But nobody warned them that the game would change. That a salary that once kind of represented comfort would eventually represent survival. That being middle class would be earning too much to get help, but not enough to feel free. The biggest financial fear today is not poverty, right? It's maintaining the appearance that you're not struggling, because the person driving past you in a luxury car might be doing better than you, or they might be just having better debt. So the question is really about, is the middle class failing, or did we build a system where looking successful just became so much more important than actually being secure?
The pressures of being a school-aged mom in this economy are absolutely ridiculous. So we just got notes from the school saying that next week is Muffins with Mom, which is great. Love that they have an activity for parents to be involved with their kids at school, but that's an additional cost for breakfast. Then the next week is Valentine's Day parties. I have a kindergartner and a second grader, so both of them will have Valentine's Day parties. And each class has, 25 or 26 kids, and everything comes in packs of 12 or 24. So in order to get enough for the whole class, I have to buy 3 of whatever we're buying. And then I found out that school is actually closed on the 13th, when you would assume they would have a Valentine's Day party. So they're going to have it on the 12th. Well, when my kid's school is out, I still have to go to work. So my kids go to daycare. So that means on the 13th, they will have daycare parties. So now I have to buy Valentine's Day cards and snacks for those parties as well. And to top it off, my kids are in sports and activities, so we are constantly paying for things. And I understand, being a parent, it is my responsibility to pay for my children's things. But when we're doing one thing after another at school, it's really hard to keep up in this economy.
No one is talking about how the middle class is suffering the most. The middle class, the higher class, y'all good. Y'all good. Y'all don't need no assistance. Y'all good. The lower class, because you're lower class, you get benefits like Medicaid, daycare vouchers, food stamps, things like that. But the middle class gets nothing because they're trying. Middle class can't get anything for trying. Even though somebody might be making $60,000, that does not mean that they don't need services. They still might need food stamps. They still might need a daycare voucher or something. Services should not only go to the rich or the poor. What are we doing about the middle class? Rich people is getting tax write-offs, they doing charity stuff, they doing all kinds of stuff. It's like, in America, it's no room just to be middle class. It's like you literally have to be rich or poor. It's no in between now. It's like, even when you're middle class, these jobs don't want to pay anything. They want you to have a master's degree and giving you $60,000. Like, are you crazy? Are you freaking crazy? I'm so sick of the government only caring about the rich or the poor. What about the middle class?
I'm in the car about to go into my campaign kickoff and get it set up. And I'm wearing these little work jeans, and I saw this little hole, and this is actually a very minor hole, but it made me think my serving skirt would accompany it. And I just did a podcast with Raised Red Living Blue, and I was telling him, one of the realizations I had and why I'm running is because for you to be middle class today means that you go to work with holes in your pants. And that just does not sound very first world country to me. Not at all.
they made it to where we have only our debt to lose. And that's not a hee hee ha ha joke. That's not just like a campaign slogan. It's real. They're like, well, Ashton, what if they take this from you? What if they run you off the road? My car has like 180,000 miles on it. The engine light has been on. It costs more to fix my car than it's worth. I can't make enough to get a new car. I can't make enough to live on my own without roommates or without a husband. I can't do anything. I have to live to go to work. I have to make sure I have enough gas in my car just to get to work. And when you do get to work, most of us got holes in our pants. What are we doing?
I'm gonna go ahead and say this. There's so many programs, benefit programs and whatever for broke people, right? And the qualifications and requirements for those programs are that you stay broke, right? So they keep them with health care, a little bit of money, food stamps, whatever, right? But zero support for families that work, but still can't afford to survive. I'm currently making the most I've ever made. And it is so hard. It's so hard. And I have to feed the kids.
Let's just be honest. Being middle class in America is not what it used to be, and it probably is the worst class to be in this current state and time. Just think about it. If you are in the lower class, you have the opportunity to qualify for different aids, whether that be housing assistance, food assistance, different grants, scholarships to go to school. There are a plethora of things that if you know about it and you qualify for it and you use it properly, you can get ahead in life. Now, it's not easy, but it is some type of cushion that can help you get to the next step you need to in life. And being in the upper class, you're not worried about anything. You have an abundance of money. Anything that comes up, you can pay for it. You're not really worried about your next payday. You're not living check to check. So you don't have any money problems. You're not worried about anyone, and you're not depending on anything else. Meanwhile, if you're in the middle class, likely you're living paycheck to paycheck. You're one emergency away from being out on the street or being unable to pay for whatever bills you have. You don't qualify for any government assistance or any government programs or scholarships. Everything you have to do is paid at full price, and you have no cushion to fall back on. Now, I don't want to say that middle class is bad and that you should be in the lower class, strive to be in the lower class, but I do think it's the hardest class to be in because you have the least help with the most amount of pressure. But this is just my point of view. Let me know what you guys think.
We're starting to see that the middle class is a failed experiment. It only really worked for the baby boomers and some of Gen X. And the reason why I say that is because I've traveled to over 40 countries. And the thing that I see that's starting to be similar in the United States is that people don't really have a choice to be middle class. They either have to deal with being poor for the rest of their life or go for the pipe dream, which is being insanely rich or being a multi-millionaire before at the age of retirement. Now, the problem with this is that everybody can't be entrepreneurs and everybody can't be billionaires and millionaires. So if your choice of being a millionaire or being poor is really no different than any of those third world countries that I've traveled to, because everybody is trying to run their own business. They have their own market. They selling oranges or selling shirts or selling some type of souvenirs on the side of the road, or they work for a very underpaid job. And this is what I'm saying in the United States.
What do you think? Is the middle class being squeezed more than ever? Or is there another side to the story? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more conversations like this. And I'll see you in the next one.